It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna eat with me. Now they wanna drink with me. Now they see me as something. But I can't forget yesterday when they saw me as nothing. No one knows tomorrow, brother. No one knows tomorrow, sister. No one knows tomorrow, mama. No one knows tomorrow, Baba. Yeah. It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Wow, good to have you again on the program HBS show with Blessing, History Behind Success. My guest on today's episode is a man of good qualities, a man that loves God, a kind-hearted man, a man that likes showing love and goodwill to people. A man who has imparted so much in the life of people. Who is this man? Join me as I make welcome to the program Dr. Emmanuel Ejomafue Akpoveta, Dean, School of ICT, Delta State Polytechnic, Okwashoko.
It's the HBS show with lesson, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Doc, you look so smart and handsome.
Thank you.
What's the secret?
Well, the secret is that it's God, and by the grace of God, I'm always happy. I don't have nothing worry in my mind because I don't think of any evil against anyone, and anyone who thinks of evil against me, well, is the person that knows.
He's back to sender.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you look so cool. So, how do you blend colors?
Well,
Because this your outfit is so unique.
Well, I marshal my activities on daily basis.
Okay.
And I tried as much as possible to make sure I look good. Because when you are telling the student you are teaching to look good, you yourself, you must be an example.
Be their mirror.
Exactly. So that is it.
So tell us, how was your growing up like?
Well, my growing up, I grew up in one small village known as Urabesa in Abraka.
Okay.
And I stayed with my grandmother. I didn't stay with my mom until after my secondary school. So while we were growing up, we were about 21 that left the primary school. And out of the 21 of us that left the primary school, 2 of us are graduates today.
Wow.
And by the grace of God, I should believe I'm the only PhD holder.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes. So after the primary school at Urabesa Primary School, all of us entered Umiawa Secondary School. Some of us entered Umiawa Secondary School. Some entered Abraka Secondary School, while some entered the Raw Secondary School. They dropped out, but by the grace of God, I was able to finish my secondary school. When I finished my secondary school, I traveled to Lagos.
Okay, hold on. You said some of them dropped out.
Yes.
That's some of your classmates.
Yes,
some of them dropped out.
Yes.
And you're able to finish your secondary school.
school.
So what kept you pushing?
I told myself that I want to be a graduate. But my father, being an illiterate, never wanted it. Okay. And my mom too said there was no money. And being the senior son, I saw beyond what they were saying. Okay. I told them that, okay, they even begged my father for me to attend the STC Sapele. He said no, that there was no money, and that education was no longer paying, that he was not ready to train anybody. After much, my mother begged. They even sent some delegates, or they led a delegation to him to beg, to plead with him
for you to go to school.
For me to go to school. He said no, that education was no longer paid, that it was there that I should go and learn work. But I had the determination to go to school. Based on that, I traveled to go and meet my uncle in Lagos. In Lagos, I got a job. I worked for some years. Then, while I was working in UTC, then I enrolled for JAMB, and by the grace of God, I had the cut-off point, and I was admitted at Abraka to read mass comm, and I read mass comm. After reading mass comm, by the grace of God, when I came back from youth service in the year 2000, there was no job, so I was hustling our last born. Then I told the brother, so why don't you just look for one of these private schools in Sapele? Based on that, I wrote 2 applications to 2 different private schools. But the private schools, the one of Andoma High School sent for me. I attended the interview, and I was found appointable, and I was teaching there. So when I now learned that this Polytechnic was to be opened, I applied.
Okay, before we go to that stage, I asked a question.
Yes.
I said some of your classmates, they dropped out.
Yes.
They were unable to finish the secondary school.
Yes.
What kept you pushing that you did not drop out? And there was no money there.
What kept me was determination, was God and determination. I was determined. And when I went to Lagos to work, I saved some money. When I was working.
Okay, you were in school at that time?
No, I wasn't in school. I was working in UTC as a clerk.
Okay.
And in UTC, I saved about 4,000 naira. Okay. 4,000 naira there was a big money. So I was admitted in 1994 to read mass comm at Abraka.
Okay, during your secondary school.
Yes.
You were going from home.
Yes, my father actually sponsored my secondary school. Okay. My father actually sponsored my secondary school.
Okay, so you have a history.
Yeah, history. But after secondary school, he said no, that I could go and learn that he doesn't have money, that he has suffered. And we were many then. I think we were 7 then. Some were primary school, some were secondary school. Okay. While some were also growing over at home. At home. So that is it.
All the burden was on him.
Yeah, it was on him. Okay. And my mom too. She was also trying in her own little way. My mom was also trying in her own little way. But they were separated then. While I was living with my grandma at Abraka.
Okay. Yeah. So during your university days, were you working and schooling, or you were doing some business?
No, I wasn't working. What happened? That 4,000 naira I saved. Then before I entered school, my school fees there was 650. When I entered, I think it was 650. I paid. I still had some money, and my elder sister, my immediate elder sister, that one was very supportive. Okay. And my dad, when I now entered, after I entered, my dad was trying, but that was my immediate elder sister. In fact, I don't joke with her till tomorrow.
Wow.
Because everything, anytime somebody was coming from Sapele, now give him this food stuff, my provisions, so everything. The only thing, and that money I saved got exhausted at 300 level.
Wow, the 4,000 naira.
Yeah, the 4,000 got exhausted because I was not ready. It's just to pay my school. My sister was buying me the food stuff. So it got exhausted. So at 300 level, and that time, anytime we were on holiday, I would travel to go and meet my dad. Then we were living in Bordeaux. Both of them are late now. They were living at Boboruku in Jesse. Okay. I would travel to go and meet them. We're going to farm with them every time. It was a 300 level when my money got exhausted, and my dad started paying started paying my school fees till 400 level. But actually, it was 300 level till I told me, say, my son, you are big and don't follow us to the farm again. You can relax. But from year 1 to 300 level, I was
did
there
it.
with any time I was on holiday. I'll travel, but it was fun. It was fun, and I think I did it with all humility by the grace of God.
Okay. Okay. So after your youth service,
Yes,
you said you applied for
a
two
job,
different jobs.
private school. Yes, two different private schools. So I was found appointable. The two actually, I was successful in the two interviews, but I just picked Andoma because Andoma was closer. I was not paying too much transport because my sister place to the place. Either I trek or I can board a bike then, maybe with 50 naira. I can 2,000. Not even up to 50 naira. I think it was 3 naira then.
Wow.
I was, yes. But in most cases, I was trekking because salary was not much. It was peanut.
Okay.
But from the salary too, by the grace of God, I was able to rent a room.
Wow.
And I bought my first, that smallest television that they used to turn the antenna outside. But will be asking you, is it okay? Turn it small. Turn it. No, leave it. Oh, you're almost on. Please leave it. Just quit on it. So that was it.
So that was your first
Yes, my first
television.
job. Yes, television. But even the day I bought it, you know my sister is having one of my younger sister called the friend. In fact, they celebrated it so much. They celebrated that my first television. I bought it. That was 2001. I bought that television. Yes, 2001. I bought it. But before then, when I came back from youth service in 2000, I went to Lagos. There was no company I didn't write application to. So the only Versace shoe I bought then, I used the whole Alawi. They paid me 3,005. I used to buy the shoe, Versace, very fine shoe. The heel was going down. I was watching. Hey, and I knew if I told my elder brother, my uncle, the one I was living with, and he won't allow me. So a message came that we lost our last born. Told him, I said, oh brother, bros, you know I cannot. I must go. He said, but you are coming back. I said, I will come. But I knew within me that I was not coming back. Now, as I came to Saple, thank God, my grandmother visited. Somebody who has no job now. That time, we were very close. Being somebody who stayed with her, she gave me 7,000. And that was when they were doing all this civil service job.
Okay.
I also applied, but I was not taken. So, but things were better than when I was in Lagos because I was not at home. You know, it was I was living with my uncle's wife then in Lagos, my brother. But here I am like an authority.
Yes, it's your home.
Yeah, if I lack money, I'll just travel to Abraka, go and meet my grandmother. Those little what they were selling to her, she will give me some. And big boy there. So that was how it the whole thing went.
Wow. So tell us how you were employed in Ogwashuku.
Okay.
Your journey so far.
What actually happened when I was in Andoma high school, the private school? I said that first of all, I wrote application. I wrote to Pointer. I wrote to when Ogwashuku was to start. Okay. That was in 2002. I wrote. So I first of all attended the one of Pointer. That I think around that was when Isio Madam wrote an article that I think that was the year also wrote one article. I think whether Emmanuel to be alive also. So the two applications I wrote, Pointer invited me, so I attended the one of Pointer. And that time I was writing article for Pointer. I was writing article as a freelancer. Okay. They were publishing it in Pointer. So the news, the feature editor then knew me very well. Okay. So as soon as I appeared in the what is it? He was asking people there. I say, Ma'am, Akpoveta is my name. So you always write now to say yes. So you don't need to attend the time that you're already employed. So they said I should go. So before they could my letter of appointment could come, I had already attended interview in Ogwashuku. So I now look at it. Which one do I choose? I said no. This one, no. I was employed as admin staff in Ogwachuku.
Okay.
But I knew I was going to change to lecturing. When anytime mass come, as I then 2003, mass come, we only had biz admin, accounting, make engineering, and fashion and design. So my course was there. So I was employed as a non-academic admin staff. But when mass com now came 2004, and I applied again that I want to lecture, the rector said I must apply. I applied, and I attended the interview. I was found appointable, and that was how I started as a lecturer, as a young man till today, by the grace of God. But I'm now a chief lecturer.
Wow. So what was your first department?
My first department was I was an admin officer, and being an admin officer, because I told the rector during the interview that I was writing that I told them during the panel of interviewer that I was writing an article for Pointer.
Okay.
Then I said, I overheard the rector telling the registrar then that this boy will be my public relation officer, and that was what I did, and I did it very well. That was what I did before I attended the interview for as a lecturer, and I was found appointable, and I moved into lecturing. So when I was moving, the rector never wanted to release me. He said they cannot find anybody like me to occupy the position of the public relation officer. That the way, and I actually did the job in a way that I helped being a new institution. I publicized them, publicized the institution, publicized the management, the institution.
Wow.
So I said I should recommend somebody, because when I was there, and I recommended somebody who was employed to replace me. But I knelt down for the rector, please release me. And let me go into lecturing. If they never wanted, he said over his dead body that I can read, and that was how I became a lecturer.
Wow. So tell us, by the grace of God, you are a doctor.
Yes.
PhD. Now, what pushed you? Is it because you're a lecturer? That was why you choose to read up to this level?
No. What actually motivated me? One, if you're in the academy, you must get to the peak. And getting to the peak, you have to work hard. So as soon as I converted to lecturing, I enrolled in 2005 to do, because I came into lecturing in 2004. In 2005, I went to Suka to do my master's degree. I was shortly, then I was lecturing. I got my master in 2007. After getting my master in 2007, I just felt I've had a master's degree. My profession was going on. I said no, I should have a PhD. I looked at it. So since my first degree was in the private public public institution, second degree federal, that I want to do let me test the three. I want to do my PhD in a private institution. And I look at it. I would like to do it in Babalola after Babalola University. I said no. I went to Babcock University. And when I got to Babcock, it was like you are schooling abroad. Though the school fees was more, but they actually, it's like I always tell people that it was just because of poverty that people say my child will not attend private school. Private school, when you attend the good one, they teach very well, excellently well. And I did my PhD in Babcock University. I entered 2015. I came out 2019 with the PhD. That was how the journey went, by the grace of God.
All right. In case you are just joining us, it is HBS show with Blessing, History Behind Success. And my guest on the program is the Dean School of ICT, Delta State Polytechnic, Ogwashuku, Dr. Emmanuel Ejomafue Akpoveta. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the HBS show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model. Yeah, Oluwa lifted me higher. Oh, now they wanna HBS show with blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.
Good to know that you're still there. Welcome back on the program HBS Show with Blessing. Don't forget to like our YouTube page, HBS Show with Blessing. So before the break, you were telling us on how you were able to get your degrees one after the other on the ground of determination. All of these years of trying to get your various degree, I believe you had some challenges during these years, and you didn't throw the towel. You've pushed on.
Yeah.
So tell us, what are those challenges at this time?
Well, the one of the challenges I had was finance. When I started my master degree at Usuka, now I was working and schooling, and as a bachelor there was no married and the young man. One of the fateful days, as I was going early in the morning, I had a bike accident at Ogwachuku. Then I was still staying in Ogwachuku. I had a bike accident, but I still went. But when I came back, I couldn't stand up again. When I came back the following day from Usuka, I couldn't stand up. It was my landlord that was helping me to massage the place for some weeks before I got myself. And secondly, money. You know, being a senior son, they already put all hope on you that my sons were already working. So you will send money home.
Yes, all the
Mommy,
responsibilities.
the younger ones were also in school. You will send money home, and you're also training yourself. You will feed. So it was not easy at all. But I was determined. And one thing that I also surprised my father, my dad. The first salary I was paid in 2003. I resumed in Ogwajuku Poly 27 January 2003. The first salary I saw that the chairs in my father's house, they were already broken. They used a block to wait some. So what did I do? I went to Sapler immediately and I bought a set of chair, 30,000 naira, set of very good chair, solid. That was in 2003, early February. And I took the chair down, shattered a vehicle, took them down to Ago, where I was. So when he came, they were throwing the broken chair outside. So he was trying to pursue them. So when he now saw a new set of chair, he just relaxed. He sat down for about 3 minutes. He was not talking. He saw me. He said, "What happened?" He says, "Only 1 month we were able to gather money to buy this set of chair." I said, "Yes." He said, "My son, I'm very sorry. So education is still the key. Very sorry. So at all the suffering, everything I did to you, I'm sorry." But there was time my father gave me money for project work when I was in the university to do my project for a year. I never knew whether I didn't know whether I gave me such amount of money. And how much was the money? 2,500 to type and do everything. So they now sent somebody to me in South Africa that money my father gave to me, that I should return. And my father said that he had been gathering that money for the past 2 months, and I took it once. That if I don't bring that money back, he was going to die. He went on, he left the home. So I said, bring the money again. I looked at it. So later, after some, I didn't go. First day, second day, I didn't go. My mother now said another person that I shouldn't bother. The people have talked to my father that he has calmed down. And by the grace of God, I did the project and I graduated. And I surprised him.
Okay, that was why you were not saying that. Is it the work you started
last month? Last month I was able to buy. And that was just my first salary, yes. How much? First salary, I just spent the whole money to buy the chair. And he was very happy. He was not telling people that, please, if you have a child, please send that child to school. Send that child to school. He was not the one preaching bad education, the good news in Boboro Kujese. So that is it. That was how it happened then.
Okay, what about your friends in school? You have the same mindset, or the
mindset I had. I had one good friend in school. and very good friend in school. Until today, we are still very close. It's like it's a brother, not just a friend. The rector of Ogara, Professor Emmanuel Fubiri, we're very, very close. He has a room in my house. I have a room in his house at Abraka. And anytime he comes to town, he must come here. Even my children will think my children think he's the only brother I have. They don't know another person apart from. So also the parents too. They also know me. Anytime we are very close. That like a brother. To the extent that somebody saw last 2 years in Asaba. Are you posting like this? After many years, because that person knew us in 2003, 2004. Are you posting close like this? Say no, this is your friendship. This type of friend people should try and emulate. So that is it.
All right. So what is the first department you headed in your school?
The first department, I was the head of public relations in 2003. But I had some other staff working with me, but I was the head in 2003. But when I now moved to Moscow, I coordinated the department in 2000. When we just started in 2004, I coordinated the department before one man came on sabbatical from Auchi. He's now a doctor, although retired now. Professor Orewere is in Mississippi Hebrew University now. Before he now took over as the head of the department. When he left, Dr. Okwechime became the head of the department. After Dr. Okwechime, one Benjamin Ase took over. After Benjamin Ase, Dr. Ogbemi, after two persons now occupied the position of the HOD, it got to my turn in 2020. But 2021, thereabout, I served 2004. As HOD, 1 year for HOD, renewable for another year. As I was living as HOD, I contested to become the dean of School of ICT, and by the grace of God, we were two that contested. I think I had 27 votes. My opponent had 16, so I won. That was when I became the dean. Since I think for the first honor was 2 years. Before last year, I contested again. Although nobody contested with me because I did well by the grace of God in my only 2 way. Yeah. I did well. Nobody contested with me, so I continue for the next 2 years. That will be come to an end by the grace of God July next year as the dean.
So you are a politician kind of now.
Not a politician
because you just concluded your
the school politics. But I was also, even in the institution, I've had so many other positions. I became exam officer. I was exam officer. I was part-time coordinator. I was chairman committee to conduct mass comm election severally. I was CWAS coordinator in the institution. So I was ASU secretary for about 5 years. ASU secretary. So Academic Staff Union of Polytechnic, I was secretary for about 5 years.
Wow.
I served in the Polytechnic before I was also the secretary to the major cooperative in the institution. We call it Multipurpose Cooperative Society. Our secretary still exists today. It's one of the major cooperative society in the institution today, in the Polytechnic today. I was the secretary. And we did very well today. It's a big cooperative society. And by the grace of God, just last month, they make it 1 month and 2 days, I contested as academic board rep in council, where I won.
Wow.
By the grace of God.
That means in future you join politics.
Where
because the oil is on you.
By the grace of God, politics is a very good game. Politics is good and it's very good.
All right. So tell us, how do you feel as the dean of the ICT?
Well, I feel good, and as the dean of School of ICT, I've also tried my best to bring some innovation which the staff can testify to, the staff of the School of ICT. Like when I became the dean, I look at so many things that were wrong, and I tried in my own little way to put them in perspective, correct them, and the staff, they know that the Dean School of ICT, and by the grace of today, I am the chairman committee of deans.
Wow.
The chairman committee of deans. I'm the chairman committee of deans. I became the chairman committee of deans I think late last year. So, but I have brought some innovation.
Okay, can you tell us some of the innovation you brought?
What innovation I brought? When I became the dean, I looked at it that the dues the students are paying at the School of ICT, I think 1,000 naira. Looked at it, and I met my rector, who is also very magnanimous, Professor Emmanuel Akpoveta. He was a very magnanimous, very nice man. I met him. I said, sir, can you allow me to buy a car for the School of ICT, because it has not happened before in the institution? He said, okay, now we discussed. After more discussion, he agreed. So I wrote. He approved. I paid, and after paying, I left the car for some time. Later, when money came again, I gathered the money again. I paid again. I paid the balance and I carried the car. I took the car to school. It was when I bought I think one other school now bought for. Now told me, Akpoveta, how did you do it? I told the person. He also went. Retro being very magnanimous, somebody is very magnanimous who won the progress of this institution. Also approved for him, and he bought for school. So I think we were two different schools now that have cars.
Wow.
That is, and at the same time, when I also demarcated the office, and I made sure during every exam, the staff of the school, I paid them stipends for invigilating and monitoring exam. And during Christmas too, I also bought the previous one too. I also did the same thing.
That's from your
from the dues. Let everybody enjoy the booty of the office of the dean, no matter how small it is. And you see some of the staff testifying that they've not seen it like this all the while. That is just my nature, because I feel that if only me it will finish. Why? Let everybody have the taste.
Go around.
Yes, so that they can tell how they put the taste.
All right. So, what are the challenges in that department?
Well, there are so many challenges. One, it's a tertiary institution, and in every institution, there must be some people that don't know what change, and you continue talking to them. They are there. Even students too, stubborn students, they will bring their issue to you after you would have advised them the same thing. They will still repeat the same thing. Those are some of the challenges, and but on some of the good things is that we have a very good management. That maybe you want to do something, if you apply, they approve it. You to do the thing you want to do. So no more challenges.
Okay. All right. Now we'll be talking about school work.
Yes.
School work. Tell us, how did you meet your wife?
Well, when we started in 2003, as we started, one of the faithful that I was in, because we started from one building known as DPPS. It's a private school, but they moved to another side. They left the place for us, temporary side then, in Issa Road. I was in my office. I saw one young, pretty girl, just about 19 years. He spoke very, very fluently. And I called her. I said, "Come in my office then." My staff were sitting in an open office. Okay. But everybody had it on her table. Come. She came, and I told her you were going to be my wife. She said, "God forbid, God forbid," 3 times. That's what I used to mock my wife. I said, "God forbid," 3 times. Say no. So gradually, we became a husband and wife. But I've not regretted an inch for marrying her.
Wow.
It actually gave me joy. And before I married her, I hadn't nothing. We started from the scratch.
So it appears that you are a very busy person.
Very, very.
So how do you combine your work and your social life?
Well, like I always tell people, I'm a social being. And one thing, I don't joke with serving God, because God has done a lot for me. And I take serving God very serious. I may not be a pastor, a deacon, or a head, but I serve God well to the best of my ability. Yes, my ability. So my social life is very, very. I balance it.
Okay.
So
all right. You said you love God,
yes,
and you serve God wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Because God has done so much for you.
Me.
Can you just tell us some of the things that God has done for you?
Well, like I told you, I came from a very humble background, let me not call it poor, this thing. I told you that.
Yoruba will say Odiodi.
Very good, thank God you know. From there, nothing, just nothing. If they are told some people, some of my friends, if I travel, if I go to the village, some of my friends will drop out. When I maybe I drop wine and support, see the hospital, I will just be looking at them. But with my children, are by the grace of God, to a higher institution, I'm very satisfied with what they have done for me. Those are the things God, and above all, good health.
Yeah.
My children are healthy, my wife is healthy. What else? God has actually done me well. All right. Yes.
Okay, before we go, your advice to the youth out there.
And my advice to the youth, just take life gradually. Take life gradually. When you rush life will rush you. Take it gradually. Where God says you will get to, you will get there. But if you rush it and you want to get rich overnight, in fact, you will also be ready to face the consequences. Because whatever you do, if you do good, you reap the reward. If you also do bad, you also be ready. You will also receive the consequence. So that is why I told you that my grandma brought me up very well. My grandma inculcated in us good behavior, good culture, and that's what I'm trying to inculcate in my children. Good culture, well cultured. And that even the God I told you I'm good. In fact, my grandma will never allow me to miss church for one day, even as little as I was. Wow. And it was that what he inculcated in me. That is what the path I'm still following till tomorrow, by the grace of God. And I think I don't regret staying with her. She
taught you.
She taught me, yes, about everything. Everything. This is how you go about it. This is how you go about life. She didn't go to school.
All right. Thank you so much for your time on this program. You really did so well on today's episode. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. We've come to the end of the program. Know that you had a swell time with Dr. Emmanuel Akpoveta, the current Dean, School of ICT, Ogwachukwu Polytechnic, Delta State. I am Blessing Ofomio. Don't forget to subscribe and like our YouTube page, HBS Show with Blessing. We'll do it again next week.
It's the HBS Show with Blessing, the screen goddess. History behind success of your role model.